8 wins in a row. The Cardinals are red hot as they sweep the Washington Nationals in D.C. This is the Cards Hub postgame show here on Sports Hub STL. All content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Postgame shows brought to you by Hot Shots. And there's a lot to get to. We want to hear your comments as well. Before we get started, I want to wish all the mothers watching today a very happy Mother's Day. I am Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Grant Salsman. And Grant, this again, 8 in a row. Last Sunday is when this started. And this all, it really came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals were 4 or 5 games below 500. You go into the Mets doubleheader. You're feeling pretty low about yourself. You're feeling this is getting away quickly. You sweep that in pretty dramatic fashion. Since then, it's been some dominant victories over this winning streak for the Cardinals.
It's and this is, it's kind of started as a joke after they beat Paul Skeens on Tuesday. And that was, I think, the 4th game of this winning streak. I tweeted out, "Are the Cardinals back?" And I put up a poll question and I took the results. And this is, Friday night, we are just quickly seeing the results change. People becoming believers in this team. And I'm throwing it up again. Yes, no, maybe. Those are the 3 options that I'm throwing out there. I need to put it up in the YouTube chat as well, because this is a team now with, I don't know if you saw it earlier, the Cubs lost to the Nationals. The Cardinals are 1 game back now of the NL Central. 1 game back. You looked at it before going into that Mets series. They're down at the bottom with the Pirates. You're going in that Pirates series. You're like, God, this is, battle for worst in the NL Central. Since then, jump the Reds, jump the Brewers, and now they're sitting there knocking on the door of the Cubs, who just lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets. And this is, the vibe around this team, the that's the big thing, I guess. And that's something I think we're going to be talking about. We could discuss it here, but I feel like this is something Brooke and Randy are going to talk about a lot tomorrow. The expectations of this team. Have the expectations of this team, do you think that's changed in this fan base right now?
Well, kind of to your point about them falling out of the Central, the old saying is you can't win the pennant in May, but you can certainly lose it. And it felt like a little bit that the Cardinals were losing the Central in May a little bit. They go on this winning streak. I think for the fans, the expectations have changed a little bit. I, coming into it personally, thought they could be a fringe wild card team. I think talking to Brendan before the season, I said 86 wins was what I was putting them at. Could be right on the border. I still believe that, but I think a lot of fans were a little more pessimistic than me. And I think it's hard not to believe. Anytime you win 8 games in a row, I think St. Louis is starting to believe in this team. And I think with school letting out soon, if the Cardinals keep winning, we could see the optimism start growing at Busch Stadium as well.
Yeah, it sucks that they are right now on a 3-city road trip. They're in DC. They're taking the train down to Philadelphia for the next series, and then it's over to Kansas City. I really wish we were getting Friday night at Busch Stadium to see what that crowd would be like coming in to next weekend, because I think we talked about, Friday night, we talked about this on the post game. And I think it's they play Monday. I think it's against the Tigers, and school's still in session. Okay, we're not going to learn a lot from that. They need to stay above this little threshold that we're at. It was, hey, let's claw our way back to 500. Then it was now I think it's okay. Hey, let's get to that 50. Let's get 5 games over 500 now, and let's see where we go from there. And we haven't even gotten into really this game yet. We haven't gotten into this game. I see your comments in the chat. We'll get to the Jordan Walker stuff later on in the show. But Brendan Schaefer about 2 weeks ago wrote about Miles Mikolas. And I think the title was, "Is it time to give him his flowers?" And I know you and Brendan probably talked a lot about this too with Miles Mikolas. He goes out again. By no means was this a dominant shutdown performance today. And we talked about this on 365 this morning, that I think it was the last 7 games, the Cardinals starters plus Michael McGreevy had accounted for 49 of the 63 innings during that time, meaning your bullpen didn't have to do much. Miles Michaelis got you 5 1/3 today in the game. He got you through it. He got you to a point where you were still comfortable in the lead. Miles Michaelis went out there and did his job today.
Yeah, I agree. And then the thing about it was, you look at the past couple games for the Cardinals. Okay, they beat the Pirates 5-0. Don't have to really use high leverage there. They beat the Nationals 10-0 in game 1. Fetty pitches a complete game. Yesterday, Jojo Romero came in, shut the door. Helsley pitched the 9th. But still, you have a lot of high leverage guys left. And I think that's why Ali Marmol felt it was okay to pull a starting pitcher who'd only given up 1 run, guy on second, 69 pitches, I think he was at. Normally, he's probably not getting pulled. You're probably going to let him finish the 6th. Maybe you throw him out there for the 7th. But the situation the Cardinals were in, they had the plethora of relievers at their hands, and Steven Matz was able to shut it down. I thought Michaelis did a great job. I bet he feels, I don't know, it's like it's a mixed feeling, because you're like, oh, like I'm pitching really well right now. I'm only not even 70 pitches in the 6th. Like I could go 7 or 8 today, but also the move paid off and you won the game. So I think it's a 50-50 feeling for Michaelis. But yeah, I was impressed with the stuff. The location is back for Miles. That's what felt like was missing at the beginning of the season. He's finally starting to miss some barrels as well.
And this is something that Mike Claiborne has pointed out many times on our show whenever I've done shows with him, and even just talking to him about Miles Michaelis. I mean, the numbers are there that when he gets through the 3rd time through the order, when you get that 3rd time through the order with Miles Michaelis, the splits on him just jump up an incredible amount. And I'm trying to look through it here in this game or in today. And I don't think I didn't have it with me at the moment, but you look today when they pulled him from the game, he got through those first 2 times in the order, gave up the 1 home run to Lowe, and the 3rd time through, CJ Abrams gets a single. Mm-hmm. They bunt him over. And right then, I think that's when you saw, okay, hey, 3rd time through already with a single deleted off, runner in scoring position. Hey, we're not messing around with this. We're getting out of this right away, and we're going to the bullpen. And if the book is out, that's fine. That's a fine. I mean, when you have the bullpen now, when you have a guy like when you have Matz in there, when you have Graceffo now in the bullpen too, who is built to be a starter, when you have those options there, great. 2 times through the order for Michaelis, you get me those 18 outs. Yeah. And then, okay, hey, I'll find somebody else to get me those other 9 if that's what's needed.
And I think, too, it's kudos to what the Cardinals have done, the starting rotation the last few days. Because let's say Palante goes out there and goes 4 innings, gives up 5 runs. Even the Cardinals still win yesterday. Michaelis probably isn't being taken out in that situation. I don't think Ali Marmol, especially with the big series coming up against the Phillies, would have felt comfortable with his bullpen to take him out. Matz probably would have been used yesterday. So I think we're seeing things come together for the Cardinals in the perfect way over this winning streak. You're able to preserve the bullpen. No one's really had a blow-up inning out of the bullpen either out of it, which a guy comes in, gets his 3 outs, next guy comes in. And the pitchers, they've done what you said. Get the 18 outs, and then we can move on.
The Cardinals win 6-1 in the finale against the Nationals. They sweep them, move to 8 wins in a row, and you are watching the Cards Hub Postgame show, brought to you by Hot Shots. And hey, June 1st, that's their 35th anniversary, and we will be celebrating with them out at St. Charles, the original Hot Shots location. The fun starts at noon with a parking lot party featuring the Budweiser Clydesdales. Prizes will be given away all day. Dart tournament at noon, bags tournament at 2, plus a chance to win Hot Shots tacos for a year. Congratulations to Hot Shots for 35 years. Hot Shots, St. Louis is home for all the games, all the time since 1990. Find yours at hotshotsnet.com. DraftKings.com. Joe Roderick and Grant Salsman with you here. Let's get to the comments. Let's get to the folks in the YouTube chat. By the way, poll question is up in the YouTube chat. And are the Cardinals back? Right now, 64% of you are saying, yes, the Cardinals are back. I threw it up on Twitter as well. I want to know, I want to see if the Cardinals are back. I want to see what you think of the Cardinals being back. I will tell you this, the no option is getting a lot less hits than it has been since I started this after the game on Tuesday. So people are starting to see it. All right, let me scroll through here. Let me look through at the people that are commenting on the Jordan Walker situation on this here. I'll start with this. Nick saying, what do you do about the Cardinals and that automatic out in the 8th spot? Jordan Walker again today in the game. He goes, maybe you have the box score in front of you before I do.
Yeah, he went 0 for 4 with a strikeout, average now down to 186 on the year.
Everybody else is hitting right now. Everybody else is performing. You add Ivan Herrera back to this lineup, that lengthens the lineup. That gets you down. I mean, that 1 through 6 right now is looking really good. And I guess they are going to keep Victor Scott down in the 9 spot for the time being. That's fine. That rolls it over. I'm fine with that. And your catchers are hitting too. Joel Pozo today had another really nice game at the plate. Pedro Paje is also hitting when he gets the start. Ryan Fagan said it on Friday. Go back and listen to Cards Hub 365 on Friday. Ryan Fagan, we discussed this. Got to get Jordan Walker to the All-Star break. Get him to the All-Star break. If everybody else is hitting and you can deal with that right now and you can keep him there and give him consistent starts, let him figure it out at this level. Let him fail. Or let him figure out how to succeed at this level right now. And that's fine. Let him take his lumps, because sending him back down to Memphis, he has one option left. Sending him back down to Memphis is not going to do anything for the confidence moving forward. Let it click up here and figure out how to do it while you can. His defense in right field is not hurting you. He's playing fine out in right field. That was a nice play late in the game that he made in the corner there, being able to track that ball down and get to it. Let him keep playing right field. Maybe Alec Burleson gets a few more reps in right field. Maybe that's something that you move forward and you do with him in right field. I'm fine with giving, if we're giving them runways, let him keep having that runway.
I think too, yes, like you said, giving runways. I think overall, unless the Cardinals think all of a sudden they're transitioning to a 90, 95 win team that can compete at a really high level, which I think right now it's really fun, but they still don't quite believe that. If you start sitting Jordan Walker, let's say you send Jordan Walker down, everything you've been saying about this transitional year, giving runways, letting the young players figure out, you're lying to yourself and the fans. I think that they're going to stick with the messaging that has been given. Now, let's say he goes, the average keeps dipping and maybe it dips to below 100. Then maybe, as it gets closer to that number, people will start having conversations and he will be benched for a significant amount of time or something like that. But I think for right now, the way they're playing and the way that the messaging has been, he's going to be in the lineup almost every day still. And I'm fine with it. Jordan Walker is supposed to be, or you think he could be, the next star of your franchise. You got to find out if he is or not.
Yeah. Trell chimes in saying if they had a masher in the middle of the lineup, if only, right? I mean, that's Ivan Herrera right now is going to be that matchup. Remember, this is a guy that just missed a month of baseball. These are two of his first 2 games back after missing a month of baseball and having just a few days of a rehab assignment at AAA. He's eventually going to be your masher. Also, you got home runs out of Wilson Contreras and Nolan Arenado today, and your number 3 hitter is right now the top hitter in the National League. So you're fine right now, I think.
Contreras is the masher in the middle. If he keeps batting 5, that's the middle, and he's been mashing the baseball. So I think they're okay with that. And like you said, Herrera's he's gonna pick it back up. It takes a second.
Yeah, right. I mean, Nolan Arenado started to hit well, double and a home run today in the game. Wilson Contreras, another home run today. You have the lineup. You don't need to have that. I don't. What do you? I mean, who do you consider? Give me like. This is Trell. This is to the chat. Like, who do you consider to be those matchers right now? And I know the discussions kind of come up about making Herrera just that permanent DH. And people say, no, he's too young for that. You don't want to make him, you don't want to just solidify somebody as a DH at that age. Who cares? If he could sit there and start for you game in and game out and just hit, and you have quality catchers back there too, just let it happen and just enjoy the ride that you have somebody that's just going to go out there and be that professional hitter for you day in and day out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if over the next year or two, if he keeps hitting like this, catcher's too big of a risk to have that good of a hitter behind the plate every day. I think that's kind of what we've seen with Wilson Contreras. His bat is much better than his glove. And over the course of his career, if he stays with the Cardinals can find another catcher. Maybe it's not Pages. They have some guys in the minors, but they can always replace that glove behind the plate. You can't really replace Herrera's bat when it's hot.
Nolan Arenado, as I said, 2 hits. Wilson Contreras, 2 hits. Pozo with 2 hits. Joel Pozo's been up here a month now, too. He was up here back when he was called up when Herrera was Joel Pozo hitting 333 for the Cardinals. Again, I mean, he was supposed to be just a backup catcher that was here to just kind of hold his own till Herrera was back. And I think it's very obvious what the Cardinals think of him with the roster move that they made to send Luke and Baker down and go with 3 catchers.
Yeah, I love Pozo up here in the majors for the Cardinals. I love him in this lineup. I love this like catcher's alley in the lineup too. It's Contreras, who I know he's playing first, but at heart he's always the catcher. Herrera and Pozo back to back to back. I love that. I think it's so fun to have those 3 guys all back line up in the order. And that might be the most dangerous section of the Cardinals lineup right now, especially with Pozo hitting the way he is. I like it. If you swing in a hot bat, keep him up here. Find a way.
They do have. I mean, it's just these sections of the lineup that you look at. That the area when you roll it over and you have Victor Scott, Nootbaar, Mason Wynn. I mean, that's a little section of the lineup that anything can happen.
Yes.
With that, we've seen Victor Scott's speed kind of take over in a game, and we've seen how much fun that is to watch in this. So you do have these little sections of the lineup going there. I appreciate a lot of people in the chat. I mean, the Jordan Walker stuff is going to be just a huge point of conversation over the next week or so while the team continues to play. And it's one of those that I guess if we're looking for something to complain about, it's not the bullpen anymore. If we're just talking about the Cardinals' number 7 hitter, number 8 hitter in the lineup being an offensive liability, I'll take it for the time being. I'm absolutely fine with that being the case right now with the Cardinals. If this is what we're going to complain about moving forward, so that's absolutely fine with me. Hey, Cards Hub Postgame Show brought to you by DraftKings. All content here on Sports Hub STL is brought to you by DraftKings and the DraftKings Pick 6 app with promo code STL Sports. Hopefully you did well on your Cardinal picks today. Still some baseball left to play tonight. I know the Phillies have the Sunday night game before the Cardinals go into town against them. And then you have some basketball and hockey to watch today as well. And if you are new to the DraftKings Pick 6 app, download it now and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Cardinals will head to Philadelphia for a 3-game series there. That's starting tomorrow, as they talked about on the TV broadcast. And I just mentioned it too. The Phillies in the night game tonight, the Sunday night game of the week, as they are also in Cleveland too. So not only that, they're playing the night. I know that players cannot stand when they have that Sunday night game on the road and then they have to travel back home and a team's already waiting for them there. Their next opponents the Cardinals will be there waiting for them by the time maybe by the time the game's over. Definitely by the time the game's over. Yeah.
The Cardinals might already be in Philadelphia.
They're taking the train. They're taking the train down.
So maybe they might be in Philadelphia before the game starts.
Yeah.
In Philly. Maybe with the cheesesteak watching the game. There was a comment in here that I thought was really interesting. Sun Devil 1980 said something about how he would like Jordan Walker to stay in the majors to get one voice. And I think this is something you see a lot like in football, with a young quarterback. You don't want him. You don't like when the offensive coordinator keeps getting fired or head coaches because different voices. And I think this is something we saw with Walker when he got sent down. There were so many different messages about not hitting enough home runs. The swing was messed up. And I think that might be the kind of the funk we've seen him get into is because of that. I really would like one voice. If Brant Brown is that voice who Walker likes, I think they have a good relationship. Let Brant Brown be that voice in Walker's ears for the next few months and see if he can fix what's going on. Because it's not a talent issue with Walker. It seems just mechanical right now and probably losing confidence as well. But I think if Brown can get to him, it's just that one swing or two that kind of can get him on a roll.
They will. The Cardinals will face, and Jordan Walker is going to have his opportunities in the lineup here the next 2 games at least. I do not foresee Jordan Walker getting an off day on Monday or Tuesday. Cardinals tomorrow will face left-hander Christopher Sanchez. And then in that game, Jordan Walker in his career against Sanchez, if I could pull that up quickly, it looks like he is 1 for 5 against Christopher Sanchez. And then Jesus Luzardo on Tuesday's game, another lefty for the Phillies. So that's 2 lefties back to back that the Cardinals are going to see. And Jordan Walker again 1 for 5 against Luzardo. So he's seen both of them. He's going to start against lefties. Yes. He's 100% going to be starting against lefties. So we just go from there and see how he does in those 2 games. Maybe you give him the Wednesday afternoon game off against Aaron Nola.
Yeah, he's going to get his chances. This feels like a pivotal series for the Cardinals and for Walker. If these 2 games he's going to play, just get some runway, get those hits, get the confidence going, because then you kind of make the turn after that, and it's deciding one, are the Cardinals real, and is Jordan Walker real? So I think there's kind of 2 storylines going with the team and Walker.
Yeah, and we'll see it all tomorrow. Cards Hub 365 tomorrow afternoon, getting you ready for the game. And then Ethan Hannaford, Sarah Daly coming your way post-game after Cardinals and Phillies in Philadelphia. And another one to watch too, because the Cardinals, again, when they faced the Phillies at home last month, beat them 2 out of 3 games. We maybe have gotten over the road woes. A sweep on the road. Nobody even talked about that. Didn't hear much conversation about that this past weekend. Now they go into Philadelphia. They already have 2 wins on the Phillies this year. How are they going to perform in this series coming up Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? Again, also 1 game back of the Chicago Cubs in the NL Central, have clawed their way all the way back to just 1 game back in the NL Central here in the middle of May. That's going to do it for our show today. Still to come on Sports Hub STL, Battlehawks postgame coming up in about an hour or 2 when Kakaw ends their game. So make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube page to know whenever we go live here on Sports Hub STL. Thank you to everybody that watched today. Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there watching as well. For Grant Salsman, I'm Joe Roderick. This has been Cards Hub Postgame, brought to you by Hot Shots here on Sports Hub STL. All content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.